Welcome to CRN TV, coming at you from Exchange here in Orlando. I'm here with Luis Alvarez of Alvarez Technology Group and Don Sizer of Third Element, and we're here to talk to you about AI in the channel and the channel's role in AI. First, Luis, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. I'm President and CEO of Alvarez Technology Group. We are a managed security services provider located in Monterey County, which is on the central coast of California, and have been in business for 23 years, and now we're really moving quickly into AI.
Excellent. And Don, tell us about your company.
So I'm CEO of Third Element Consulting, and we are central Pennsylvania located. And we have been a Microsoft shop for a very long time, so we've heavily invested there. And of course, when Copilot came around, we were like, that looks amazing, but there's some things that have to go around it. So we invested heavily back into Copilot and what that looks like for our clients. So we're excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, excellent. We'll stick on that topic, Don. Tell me about what is customers' level of interest so far in AI?
I'd say it's guarded interest, right? And I think that's fair for everybody involved, but it's the conversation that has to come around with how are we categorizing your data? What does DLP actually look like? Do we have sensitivity labels to make sure that we're ready for Copilot? That's been a really good conversation starter for a lot of us, but seeing what it can do has been eye-opening for some of our clients, and I think that's the exciting part.
Yeah, excellent. Luis, how about your customers?
We're spending a lot of time educating people right now. I think Don will agree with me that anytime there's something new that rolls out like this, there's curiosity, there's fear to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
So you have to spend a lot of time, dialing back the fear and getting the curiosity to a real place. So like, how can this really help you as opposed to all the hype that goes around it? And, it's hard to believe that ChatGPT started this, October of 2022. It seems like it's been around for 10 years. And the hype factor is huge. And the acceleration of it's huge. So clients are really interested. We're seeing a lot of people asking good questions, but we're also spending a lot of time educating people.
Yeah, definitely. And then a big topic here is kind of internal use of AI, making our own operations efficient, maybe finding ways to monetize our own data. Tell me a little bit about how you both, where are you at with your own generative AI journey? Are you experimenting with it, having your employees experiment with it? Yeah. Don, we'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really close to getting Copilot turned on internally so that we'll have a couple of licenses there. I'm sure you guys are probably in the same boat. A lot of our tools have an AI lift into them, which I think is interesting. So there's a lot of generative AI going on, which I think is really, really good, especially for our technical folks that maybe don't write as well as some of the other ones. It gives them the ability to write very well, which is fantastic. And I think some of the other parts that maybe most people don't know about is, again, if you're using your Microsoft licensing the way that you should be, Power Automate has an AI lift into it now as well, and it's using the natural language to be able to build automations inside of there without having to know actually how to do it. So I think we have some of that going on. There's some generative pieces, but what I've found the most is that some of our people are using the ChatGPTs of the world and things like that, and they're almost using it like a search engine, which is the most bizarre thing that, my, Gen X brain is trying to comprehend. But it's been interesting seeing how that process is working out and how they're coming up with some of the content and ideas using generative AI.
Funny, Microsoft is finally making Bing relevant again, right? Because you've seen this big shift from people using a search engine like Google or whatever to now using ChatGPT to get much richer results. So rather than having to ask for something and then having to troll through a bunch of hyperlinks and read yourself, you're like, no, tell me what I want to know, and it tells you what you want to know. Now, some will argue sometimes it tells you incorrect things, right? They're known to not be great, but I think that'll improve. It has improved over time. Internally, like Don, we are looking for efficiencies. We're looking for ways to do things faster and better and get our folks to elevate the value that they provide our clients. So one of the warnings that I uttered at the beginning of the whole thing back, I think it was like June of last year, I started preaching to our team, look, this is a huge revolution in technology. It's going to change the way we all work. Some people have made really bold predictions about by how much. But what it does mean is that if you're not smart in AI, you may not be working here in a year or two, because I need every one of us to embrace it and be better versions of ourselves using the technology so that we can leave behind all the simple stuff that is, easy to occupy 8 hours of your day because you know how to do it. Well, now somebody else is going to be doing that, and that's somebody else's Copilot or ChatGPT or some iteration of generative AI. So you need to, get your skills up to the point where you can add significantly more value than you have in the past.
Yeah, I'll stick with you, Louis. Looking a little further ahead, what are some use cases that internally you're excited to use AI for? What kind of work do you see either getting augmented or eliminated even?
We have 2 dispatchers, and these folks have been with us for 10 years. They know our teams, they know our clients. I told them your job is going to probably disappear in about 2 years. As the technology gets better and smarter, and being able to go in and link our PSA to our our phone system, and using a system that can hear what our clients are asking, direct their calls to the right place, have conversations with clients at a very kind of tier 1 level, and then direct them to who they need to talk to. That eliminates 2 positions, but I want to take those 2 people and move them up the food chain to be in another capacity within our organization. So I see really revolutionary changes in how we do business fundamentally. And it's important that we all get smart quick, because the MSP down the street is going to get smart quicker and then put us out of business.
And Dawn, early use cases looking ahead that you're excited for internally?
So I'm sure you've had the same conversations that we've had with AI is going to enable a lot of things, but it's going to take the highly skilled workers and the skilled workers and make them so much better. And we've had that conversation both internally as well as external stakeholders, clients, that kind of thing. So that's the big thing for us, is how can we empower our skilled workers, our highly skilled workers, and make them better. So yes, we've had the conversations of there are some jobs that are going to get augmented in some way, shape, or form, but how can we extend what we already have with AI as well? So I think that's our biggest use case right now, is figuring out how to extend. And a lot of that is building in additional automation and the automation lift with AI. So making our team more powerful with what they have available at their fingertips has been the big use case for us.
Yeah, we have, I think in your company and like mine, we have super Googlers, and these are people that have, risen to their position because they know how to search for stuff on the internet like nobody's business. I've been telling them, sorry, I can do that now with Bing Enterprise or Copilot for Windows. So you need to find another shtick to keep you around. So those are the sorts of things that to Don's point, we need to train all of our folks that are servicing our clients on how to use the tools to make them faster and better, and give them more bandwidth to spend more time with clients face to face.
Yeah, we're seeing like a change to the definition of what tier 1 work is, right? It sounds like, and even advanced work.
So it's so much fun figuring out like what can we, we've kind of said these are the fun things that we want to focus our time on, and then we decided like these are all the things that we don't like doing, right? So we've kind of made criteria around all the things that we don't like, and I'm sure you guys have done the exact same thing. Like what takes time, what can be automated or AI lifted with all of that, and focused on those things to literally get rid of them out of our tech's hands. So we just don't have the problems around them. We don't have the errors. We don't have that kind of thing anymore. So we're eliminating problems with AI, which that's a huge thing.
One of the things that we've implemented is a tool that works with our PSA, so that when a client submits a ticket, clients are really helpful because they'll give you a description that's super informative, like my computer's broken. And then you got to figure out what that means. But with AI, what happens is that ticket now comes into our system. Immediately, it goes and compares that subject line from that particular end user and says, this person always calls on Monday, and they always have a different excuse for why they're calling, but it's always the same.
The frequent flyer
model? Yes, but it's always the same solution. So rather than the engineer going in and saying, okay, I got to start from scratch, now they get a ticket with a suggested, hey, this is a resolution that has worked 98% of the time. to solve this problem. And they can talk to that person and say, hey, have you done this? Oh, no, I haven't done that. Well, let's do that and see if that works. Great, you're done. So what might have been a half hour or 45-minute engagement now turns into a 5-minute, much more satisfied client because they're in and out.
Yeah, wow. Don, I'll start with you. We're talking about operational efficiency, but are you starting to see revenue coming in yet with Gen AI? And if not, first, are you starting to see revenue come in, and what are some of those early use cases?
So the early use cases with us with revenue has been all around the project work with Copilot, getting ready for Copilot, making sure that people have all their categorizations on the DLP piece of Microsoft, right? So there's been a lot of that, and or the lift into the cloud if they've still been on-prem because they want to be able to use Copilot, right? So I'm sure you guys are in the exact same boat everybody else is in, right? So that's the big piece there, and then getting into the other piece of revenue of how do we save efficiency? Because I think that's the next piece, right? So as we're looking at automation, things that we can use AI with coming in, so we actually did a quick, one of our things was onboarding a user, right? How do we get a user in, get it done, get it lifted, use AI as part of it, use some automation. So we figured out it cost us $1,800 to actually write all the codes that we needed to code in to get it automated, and with a little bit of AI magic and some other parts with our PSA. And we ended up saving about $4,800 over the course of a couple of months in all of that. So we've got about 2 or 3 more automations to do before we actually save the cost of a full person over a year. But that's pretty significant when you think about it. So we've run all the numbers, and yes, 100% there is efficiency there, and there's money to be made, or at least saved.
Yeah. Louis, same question.
One of the things that we're spending a lot of time doing is learning what our customers are hearing about AI. A lot of the tools and services that our customers use are now hosted by somebody else. So, whether it's a Salesforce or whether it's a Blackbot if you're a nonprofit, but all of those third parties are building AI into their environments, and it's up to us, because our clients trust us and depend on us, to kind of vet those things out. So we spend a lot of time doing consulting work when they say, hey, we want to implement this particular module with Blackbot, or we want to implement this particular module with this other, with Sage, and it's supposedly AI, can you look into it? Because we want to, our motto is, we want to make our clients safe, secure, and successful. And that safe part is the number one thing. So we spend a lot of time talking to the vendors, understanding how they're using AI, how do they protect AI, what are the security policies that they have wrapped around it. And until we're satisfied that it's ready for prime time, we just tell our clients, no, it's not. It's not there. So we see an extension of that as we start to embrace Copilot internally, and then turn around and build a Copilot practice, and we can start showing our clients how they can use it to improve their efficiencies. And I've already had the conversation with people. They're like, gosh, $360 up front, that's so expensive. And I said, honestly, if this thing saves you 2 hours and you're an attorney.
Right, if they're an attorney,
they're
1 hour.
1 hour, exactly. You're ahead of the game by a long shot. And I can guarantee you this is going to save you 10 hours a week once you know how to use it. And that resonates, that they understand that. And especially the younger attorneys or the younger CPAs that are looking for ways to, bill more hours, handle more clients, add more revenue. And if we can make them more efficient, they're all in.
Go ahead.
The whitewashing conversation, the AI whitewashing conversation with a lot of
No.
folks. So as we're vetting out, we've done the same thing, right? So you have to vet out all of these different vendors that our clients are using. And so many people are saying, oh, we have AI built into our product, right?
Yeah.
And you find out after you have a couple conversations, well, it's actually automation. It's not actually AI, but it's a really cool marketing term. So the clients are very excited to use AI in some of the line of business applications and some other tools that they're using, but sometimes they're being sold on something that's not quite what it is. And when you look into it and you explain to them what it is, not that it's bad, but it's the education piece of knowing what's AI and what's automation is very important too, so that they're not, getting into something that they're not sure of, or that situation where they are using AI and you don't know where it's coming from because it's not from that particular tool. So they're pulling it from somewhere else, and does the data stay within that tool or is it going somewhere else? So there's big conversations that have to be had around that. So absolutely that needs to happen.
Yeah, there's this mad rush by every vendor to put AI on their website somewhere. And some of them are, the bigger ones are really careful about how they do it. Some of the more, the smaller third-party ones that are less well-known, but maybe industry-specific, maybe a veterinarian-specific software application, those sorts of things that don't have a huge market presence, those are the ones I worry the most about, because those are the ones that are just going to more likely throw something on there just so they can say, I got AI too.
Yeah.
And it's our job to make sure that we protect our clients from that.
A lot of great information, and I think it goes without saying, but all this is why the channel is such an important part of bringing Gen AI to market and making sure customers are happy and get the outcomes they're looking for. Very important with such an early technology. Thank you, Don, and thank you, Louis, for speaking with me. And for more of our coverage around AI, visit crn.com and stay tuned to this newsroom. Thank you.